Now we begin our presentation with part one, basic symbolism. We start with the Il Cornuto, also known as the horned hand or the devil's horns. It is a satanic salute. It is also a satanic curse when it's used against somebody. We begin with Anton LaVey. This is a portrait of him, and I just want to remind you, please bear with me. These are just basic symbols. These symbols are ubiquitous. Some people will laugh at this notion of looking at this symbol, so I just please bear with me. It progresses in symbolism, and I don't want people with biases to shut this video off because we're covering something that they believe is just nonsense. There is a underlying meaning to the symbol, so I ask you to bear with me. Anton LaVey uses the Il Cornuto in this portrait. He also has the satanic pentagram in the background. Church of Satan, they use this as a satanic salute, and the Baphomet pentagram. The Baphomet is the goat head within the down pointing star. That's a satanic salute. Marilyn Manson, you can see the Il Cornuto on the t-shirt. One key aspect of this is the use of the single eye symbolism and the distinction of this eye, and we'll get into that single eye symbolism later as we move along. There are three ways to do this, and you can see here is a witch on the witch doesn't have any eyes. This is a reference to demonic possession. We'll see that a little bit later, but here we have the two-finger method. The methods of doing this, two-finger methods and three-finger methods. Now it just so happens that in sign language, this three-finger method is an I love you sign. But when you research this, Helen Keller is a theosophist, or was a theosophist, and theosophy has rooted in Freemasonry and Luciferian doctrine. And we can sympathize, yes, with Helen Keller. She was blind and deaf, but she was a theosophist, and it just so happens that the three-finger method is being used, I love you, in an opposite viewpoint. And we're going to see this opposites and this deception going on in this fashion with regard to symbols. Killing for Satan in this, and you can see stabbed 66 times, her use of the three-finger method, True Vampires, the three-finger method. This is Gene Simmons of the rock band KISS. KISS is the acronym KISS, Knights in Satan's Service, and I can assure you he knows exactly what he's doing with this three-finger method, saluting Satan, a satanic hand sign. Now going with heavy metal, you can see the standard versions here in this chart, looking at two-hand versions. This is meant as a joke, but and you can see Spider-Man doing that same thing. And then here's the Mono Cornuto. You see the skull and bones. Il Cornuto, same as Mono Cornuto, and you can see here the silhouette creates a man with horns. This is Sammy Davis Jr. with Anton LaVey. He was well known to be a Satanist. And Sammy Davis Jr. stars in Poor Devil, and you can see the use of the sign. Moving along with Ronnie James Dio, I believe is his name. I'm not sure if I have it correct, but Dio. And you can see this entity with the Il Cornuto sign. This is interesting because this is a Catholic priest, and we're going to see how intelligence works and dialectics work with regard to priests, and I don't believe at all that Catholicism represents Christianity. So there's a method to how they do things and trap people in both aspects. And so we'll get into that later. Here's Dio and the ubiquitous use of this sign in his campaign and putting this in his concrete. And then we have Ozfest, which is Ozzy Osbourne. This is the Baphomet type symbol. You can see here this is the goat's head. I'm sorry, the goat's feet. This is a Baphomet symbol. This is Metallica, the rock band. You can see rock bands here. Oh, and one thing I forgot to note, you can see here, obviously they're using the two-finger and the three-finger symbolism, and then he's pointing at you. These are concerted efforts that they do when people are photographing, and I just want you to know that aspect of it, that it's deliberate in this case. Moving on with Anton LaVey, his daughter is going to keep the faith. You can see that. Now, it just so happens in Buddhism, and this is Oracles and Demons of Tibet, the cult and iconography of the Tibetan protective deities. So you can understand that that Buddhism, and they call them demons, and in Buddhism, they believe that deities or these demons protect them and help them attain enlightenment. So in this case, you can see here is the Dharma wheel, and the Dharma wheel represents life and this planet. And you can see here that this is a quintessential demon. So it's got red skin. It also has this third spiritual eye. In Hinduism, the women usually wear bindis, which represent that third spiritual eye. You can see here this rainbow now represents this path toward enlightenment out of this Dharma wheel. They believe in reincarnation. But the peculiar thing about this is the Il Cornuto is used in the hand sign for this devil itself. So we can understand in the intro that with regard to the Bible, the God of this world, you can see who the God of this world is, the devil and Satan. And so he is now holding this world this way. In Buddhism, so you can see the same deity, and you see the Il Cornuto hand sign. In this parade type, the whoever's inside, this I believe it's a woman inside, is showing you that she understands that she needs to use this hand sign. These hand signs are called mudras in Buddhism and Hinduism, and they usually refer to things like enlightenment or wisdom and that type of those types of aspects. So you can see the Buddha and this different look in Buddhism. I believe this is a Chinese version of the Buddha, but anywhere there are different gods and goddesses in Buddhism in the Orient and that part of the world. So you can see that these deities doing this hand sign. And with regard to the pop culture, top of the food chain when it regard to music, this is Jay-Z and his use of that two-finger method. In a video, he's pointing to himself and using the satanic sign. And the three-finger method while he's singing. This is the ad for Rocawear, his Rocawear referring to Rockefeller, the Rockefeller family bloodline and the banking families that way. And then this is a deliberate ad. You can see the use of the Il Cornuto here. There's also this aspect. We'll get into some of that later, but he also calls himself J to the Izzo. I forget the the rap or the name that he does, but it refers to Jehovah, and so he's calling himself God in a sense. He has a best friend on the market, and that's Kanye West. They have mouths like a lion, and this is a reference to the biblical Revelation 13:2. The description of the beast is one aspect is the mouth like a lion, a mouth like a lion. This is why they do things. We in the outside world, if we don't know the Bible, we don't know what they're doing, but they know the Bible and they do this as a mockery. So they are completely against that Bible. So in this case, this is pretty important to this presentation. There's two signs being used here, very subtly the Il Cornuto sign, and then this sign here, which is the hidden hand, and that is a Masonic sign. You're going to see in his Rocawear the Masonic or the Freemasonic symbolism in that. This is it, is Michael Jackson after he passed away. This movie, and you can see the symbol being used there. One of his signature moves. Whether or not he's doing the symbol here, we can't see, but you can see here Justin Timberlake is using the Il Cornuto along with Michael Jackson. Moving along, Beyonce is the wife of Jay-Z, either girlfriend or wife, I think it's wife, but she uses it constantly. This particular one on the internet, she uses it throughout her song and her performance, and it's scary how she's using this symbol and cursing the audience that way as well. So you have Rihanna here and the use of the symbol. It used to be only in heavy metal. Now it's ubiquitous throughout all genre of music. This is Rihanna and her ex-boyfriend Chris Brown and the use of the three-finger method. Yeah, he's got a picture of Jesus, but I'm going to tell you that they can wear crosses. And believe me, this is the counterfeit that they show you, and the ignorant people think that they're Christian when they do all of the opposites of that. So this particular story is that Chris Brown beat up Rihanna, and this was big Hollywood news. And I'm going to tell you that I've come to find things about the aspects of being beat up that are not what the media says they are, and you'll understand what I'm saying toward the end of this presentation. This is Boy George, My Generation, and this is Bono, again, My Generation, using these horns and the Il Cornuto. When you see an image like this, Life magazine and Getty Images, a lot of these images have symbolism in there. In this case, it's a religious kneeling down symbol and almost a praying to Satan image. I know it's laughable, but I just want you to bear with me on this. Here's the Yellow Submarine and the Beatles, and you can see the use by John Lennon of that symbol. We're going to move on to the next plate. Moving along to the second plate of the Il Cornuto hand symbol, and this is Usher. And you can see Usher was actually responsible, apparently, of bringing Justin Bieber onto the market. And you can see the use of this symbol. This is cross-genre, every genre. This is Disney product, Hannah Montana or Miley Cyrus, and you can see. Now when we come to an image like this, this is pink, you can see that she knows exactly what she's doing because she's putting the horns on the head representing that sign. Gwen Stefani, they use it constantly. Now here's another life image. This is Lady Sovereign from the United Kingdom. This is a global effort. This is not just the United States, and we'll see a little bit of that in this presentation. But you see the dual symbolism here, you see the hand sign here, and you see the skulls with lightning bolts. And we're going to see lightning bolts in the second section. Skulls and crossbones, so the dualism and the use of variants of skull and crossbones with lightning bolts. You're going to see this, and I want you to bear with me. Britney Spears and Celine Dion. Moving along, here's Bono again. This is Keisha and the three-finger method. This is Nicki Minaj, of course. She's downright demonic, and we're going to see some of that stuff. You can see the use of the symbol. This is Selena. She represents the tweens, and we'll see some of that and what she even wears that references Satanism. You can see here now he's crossing his arms. We'll see that X symbolism later on toward the end of this presentation, but dual symbolism going on, and I want you to bear with me in understanding this. There's Rihanna once again, and of course Tweety's doing that. This is the band called Paramore. Paramore was known or was thought to be a Christian band because after some concerts they pray to God. We have to be very careful of what God that is. As a Christian, I've come to find out a lot that whether or not it's their God or my God. We can see this. How creative can you be? I'm telling you, this is artists copying artists and being ministers, essentially, to the world, like it's a cool thing. So in this case now, Getty Image, we have the band Paramore. She puts the devil's sign in the single eye symbolism, and this is one of the key images I want you to remember of that single eye symbolism. Again, here's Life magazine. This is a band called Muse, I believe. I believe it's Muse, but you can see this dual symbolism with the use of the hand sign, and on the t-shirt Caduceus. Also, they like to wear black and white, which represents this dualism, and I'll show you that in the subsequent, or the the subsequent plates. This is a band I used to like, Weezer, and the use of that sign, and you can see that it's ubiquitous on all genres of music, saluting Satan. And you have here Lil Wayne, two-finger, three-finger. I know it sounds funny. You know, so we're taught to believe if you even mention the word Satan, it's like a funny thing. But I'm going to tell you, please, what about understand that fantasizing reality aspect? If you really think it's fantasy and what these people do and what they, we're naive to believe that there is not a satanic realm and a satanic church and satanic practices going on. This is Kevin Spacey, and we have Nicolas Cage with his son doing that sign. This famous director, and you can see the sign. I used to listen to this band, Daft Punk. Daft Punk, you can see the symbolism here, praying to Lucifer or Satan. Very easy to interpret this if you just understand what's going on. A symbol of something, perhaps it was once called hope. This is 7 plus. My daughter played this game and I realized what the heck is going on. And this was a couple years back. You can push these buttons and make this sign, and they equate this symbol, hope, in a question mark. Very interesting how they play and they indoctrinate people into this symbolism. Athletes are not immune to this type of symbolism. You've got some horns here, kind of a weird image. I have another image of McDonald's CEOs doing this, but it's not on this one. But here's a basketball player, political Japanese parliament. Does this mean I love you? Maybe, but I'm telling you, with secret societies and this man, Obama, these guys involved in secret societies, I'll show you that these are Luciferian secret societies and that these symbols are not coincidence and they are deliberate. He likes to have that symbol. There's other things that he does. And, you know, this could be just caught on camera, but I'm telling you, I'm up into the 90th percentile of that not being the case, because look how much it's been perpetrated on mankind. Look at this. How well programmed everybody is into it. And of course we have the Pope. He likes to do that, but I added another image that's pretty distinct as far as that. So is he saying I love you in this case? We're going to find the Catholic Church is far from innocent